Welcome to the Bhakti Talk Podcast, where we discuss the spiritual path through the wisdom, ways, and practices of our beloved Guru, Swami Premodaya. We are your hosts, Ananda Dev and Swami Sky. And yes, we're back, and we've got huge news. The Bhakti Talk Podcast is presented by JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. Visit us at JewelTreeCenter.org. Also, be sure to like and subscribe us on social media and wherever you get your podcasts at Bhakti Talk Podcast. As I said already, this is a huge news episode where we will talk about our new name, Spiritual Center, radical transformation, cosmic consciousness, and, of course, our beloved temple dog. Go ahead, Rex.
Speaking of which, he's hanging out. As I just had a huge sneeze there. For anybody watching on YouTube, you'll catch that. But hopefully, I muted my microphone, and you won't listen to it in the audio wherever you get your podcasts. So, my brother, Guru Bai, as we say, we have so many names for each other. It's part of the way we express our love. But you're Ananda Dev, I'm Swami Sky, and it is absolutely wonderful to be back doing this podcast. It has been, lots of months, to be honest, so many months that it's close to a year. And our podcast does state, hey, we come out twice a month, so that has not been true at all. So what we are back, we are absolutely doing this podcast again, and we have said we will come out once a month, because that we can definitely attain, no problem. That's something we'll do. So look out for the brand new episodes every month. And yes, we have lots and lots of news. This last nearly a year has been jam-packed with beyond imagination, and we can't wait to jump right into it and talk about it, starting with our new name. And we will get to the guy on the couch over there. I just have to pan over to him once again. He is our German Shepherd, mixed German Shepherd temple dog. Look at him popping up right there. He knows we're talking about him. And yes, we have a brand new name, JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, formerly known as ICODA, was our acronym, which was International Centers of Divine Awakening. ICODA is now JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, or JewelTree Center. So let's jump right into the name.
Why did you change? Why
do you change your name? Isn't it odd that you change your name? It's very funny. Conventional societies all over the world tend to have suspicion about name changes, but people, businesses, places change. In fact, Rex over there is a rescue that we found through this wonderful woman. Jen is the founder of a small Los Angeles rescue that she rescues a lot of German Shepherds. She does all kinds of dogs, but boy, is she wonderful. And she had a German Shepherd named Tofu, and her rescue is Tofu's Dream World. And she just made it part of her mission to rescue dogs. And I was, when we found him and I saw his face, I'm like, that guy. And his name was, he was found on the streets. He was roaming the streets. He was a street dog that followed a little boy home, and they took care of him for a little while until they had to move. And so when Jen found now Rex, he didn't have a name, no collar, no chip, no nothing. He was just a street dog. So they named him Roscoe, but Roscoe wasn't really something he was responding to. And I'm happy to tell that story in more detail, but his Guruji has a fondness for the name Rex. And my dog growing up was Max, and it all just kind of, so we started calling him Rex, and he responded to it right away. So even he has had a couple of name changes in just this last year. But back to our name change. So why the name change? Well, there's a number of reasons. And we sort of have to put all news together in order to tell all stories of all this incredible news. A big part of our huge news is we have a permanent home for Swami Premodaya's teaching work. We have a temple. We have a center. This in Los Angeles, California. We are now JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance right here in Los Angeles. We have a 7,000 square foot gorgeous temple with, hey, look, I'm speaking to you from it, with beautiful stained glass. We'll talk more about this next, but this building was originally built in 1933 as a temple, and it's been a continuous place of worship and prayer ever since. It's changed hands a few times. I want to dive further into that, but I want to tell the story in order on why we changed our name. As you know, because you've been part of the team looking for a permanent home, we've been looking for a variety of different options. We've tried, more of an ashram environment. We've looked all over the U.S., in Louisiana, and different places that Swami Premodaya loves, and that would be conducive for his teaching work. But we've been looking for a permanent home, a spiritual center we've been looking hard for at least 12 years, but we've been looking pretty much since the beginning, especially for disciples.
Yeah, and not only in the U.S., also outside, all over the world, actually, like India, Fiji, France,
yes,
everywhere. Yeah,
we've had teams of people looking in different areas. You're assigned to Europe, and I was looking in Fiji, and other folks, Fiji and India, and then other folks. It's just we've been looking for a permanent home for a long time, and we've been seriously looking for the last 12 years, a place for community, a place for spiritual practice. And so that was under the umbrella of ICODA, and, International Centers of Divine Awakening, that name, one of the things, you're in Brussels. So that's another thing we should say is you're in Brussels, Belgium. Yeah. And I'm in Los Angeles, California, and Guruji's in Los Angeles, California, but he has also traveled extensively over the years. And so it's part of International Centers is we have literal international center. And one of the reasons when we had the name International Centers, we kind of were like, well, why International Centers? And Guruji said, well, sometimes a name is what you grow into, and sometimes it's what you aspire. And yet we have this center. We have a center in Los Angeles. There's a small center in West LA, and a center in Brussels, and it's international centers, and it's kind of the direction we're headed. And then, well, why the name change now to JewelTree? Well, because we found a temple, and when we found this place, when we saw it, the Guruji, the first time he stepped, boy, I should just tell that whole story because it's kind of hard to follow. So because we've been looking for so long, we had our beloved Sangha members were looking for a home. There's time and there's lulls, and this is how I would say it. We've been looking for a place that's so long that when you don't find quite the right place, sometimes you just pause, and it's just not. It's on your mind, and you're kind of looking. Sometimes you intensively look. You don't really find what you're looking for. It hasn't quite panned out yet. But it's always kind of there. Sometimes it's in the forefront, sometimes it's in the background. And the last couple of years, we've looked, but not intensively. And we had two of our beloved Guru brothers and sisters looking for a home, and their realtor had called and said, "Hey, we found the perfect place for you." And they called me and said, "Hey, will you come? Our realtor says this is the perfect place. Will you come on down and just look at it with us? Because if it is the perfect place, we'd love your opinion on it. We want to move on it pretty quickly." And I was so impressed with the place. It was exactly right. It was everything they were looking for. That I went home that evening and looked in the same zip code. And the first thing that popped up in the zip code is the place that's now JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. I saw it online. immediately called Alana, who immediately arranged to come see it the next morning. I called Swami Premodaya and Aiden that afternoon, said, you guys got, we drove back to it in the evening. Nobody was here because it was night, but we wanted to feel the neighborhood out. And we were just standing on the sidewalk looking at this incredible building. And Guruji said, well, if we do this, we're going to have to change the name. And we ended up looking at it 6 times that week. So this temple, originally built in 1933 and then changed hands in, I think, 1957. So originally it was a synagogue, and then it was a Baptist church. And then before COVID, the pastor is kind of reached retirement, and then COVID hit. And so they were looking to sell it. And this husband and wife team, the husband is a builder, and the wife is a set decorator in the film industry and is into restoration. So not only does he build, but they work together to restore. And they had restored this property to a level of magnificence that if we had saw the place prior to their restoration, there's no way we would have said yes, because it's just been too big of a project. It needed a big restoration. So they did a 4-year restoration project on this gorgeous site. 4 years.
4 years. Wow.
Yeah. And it's stunning. So we'll do a video walkthrough on YouTube and social media. So be sure to check us out at Bhakti Talk Podcast, and we'll do a video walkthrough and make sure we post photos. And when Guruji said, I want to change the name because I want it to be the final name. This is it. And we just sat with it for a little while, and we'll tell more of that. I can't wait to tell that story of why JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. But we wanted to change the name to something that was closer to better represented what we are. International Centers for Divine Awakening, absolutely beautiful. It's a great name, and it is who we are and were. But it just changed. Everything changes, and we certainly honor the tradition of name changes because it's profound. People, many traditions, especially in indigenous culture, change their name over their lifetime. It's like there's the name you get when you're born, and then somebody, a wise person or an elder gives you a name and a direction. And
we have an episode on name changes.
Yes, we do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the gift of a spiritual name is. Yeah. Thank you. It's a good reminder. And then it's just been a wild, unimaginable 11 months. It's been absolutely first finding this property. This is the fun part of this. So our realtor's name is Grace and Bobby. Grace and Bobby work together. They're phenomenal humans and very, very good at their job. But I love to say that we found the temple by grace, because it's quite literally true. It's literally Grace and Bobby who found the property for our beloved Sangha members. And then, in that same search, this popped up and was only on the market a short time. And then, so it's quite literally by grace is how we found this property. And it's stunning. It is such an incredible, it's 88 years now of prayer and worship in one location. Our sanctuary is absolutely stunning and incredible, and you can just feel the energy here. And then we brought to that and add to that and continue that tradition of worship, prayer, spiritual practice, and it's just been profound. It's 7,000 square feet. And so when we saw the property, one of the first things that is on the plans, because the previous owners, the restorers, part of their project plans included a dog run. It's just what was written on a piece of paper. It just said dog run. So I was like, I gotta get a dog. So we found the place by grace. We had to change our name, and it had a dog run on it, all together at the same time. is really, really quite stunning and beautiful. This doesn't even come close to capturing what the last 11 months has been. It's just been an absolutely wonderful, magical ride of. It's been a ton of work,
Mhm.
but it's been absolutely stunning and beautiful. And one of the amazing parts about our offerings over the whole time. I mean, we've been doing. It's now we're in our this we've started our 22nd year, and we have been offering satsang, everything we do online as well since about 2008. So we were way ahead of Zoom. And the reason why I bring all that up is because everything that we do here at the temple and at now JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance is also available online. So you actually haven't stepped foot on the property yet, but we have an amazing state of the art broadcast system. And I have worked personally. It's one of my it's just part of the mission of JewelTree. And so part of my mission is to make the in-room experience available online. So we have a 4-camera broadcast system, 4 wireless mic with a state-of-the-art sound system. So what's it been like to actually experience the temple online?
It's absolutely, it is amazing, and I will explain why it is amazing. Because I really get the vibe. I really get the vibe of the place, and also the care and the attention that's in everything, in all the detail, how everything look, how everything is presented, the love that's been put in, especially by everyone at JewelTree. And also because you spoke now about the people who restored the place, also the restoration, you feel the love and attention that's also been put in that. And I hope to someday set foot in the building, and at the same time, it absolutely comes through online. It absolutely it's not that anything is given extra life, or nothing has been revived or anything, but it gives a body, a stronger foundation. It is a place, it's a temple, it's a foundation, and it makes, I see that it makes my fellow Sangha members, my brothers and sisters, way more rooted. Everything about JewelTree, it's also a tree. A tree has roots. A tree grows into the ground, and the jewels can then grow. So that is what definitely also comes across in a very, very palpable way, also online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the job so it's a woman by the name of Regina O'Brien Ronsky and her husband Hardy Ronsky. Like, the job that they did and is just stunning. They had such a clear vision. They even won a preservation award from the Los Angeles Conservancy. The Art Deco Society has come here because it's built in 1933. It also has that, rich, all these what do you call them, details, the details. And and then when I met them, I found out that Regina was in the film industry. We're in the same union, we know the same people. There are people who worked on restoring the stained glass windows. This really great artist and fellow set decorator, local 44 prop person, now he's a full-time glass artist, who worked on restoring the windows. I know him personally. Like, all these things kept lining up and kept lining up and kept lining up, including, like I said, getting the dog. It's like everything just kept lining up. And it just happened. Now you have to do your part. Just like anything in life, you have to do your part to make it happen. But the way that it all just aligned so that we could work really, really, really hard and get this to happen. And then we had to work very, very hard to get to our grand opening, which we just had June 13th. We had our grand opening celebration and also celebrated Swami Premodaya's birthday. And we had such a great time that our Sangha and community wants to continue celebrating the Guru's birthday. So we've decided to make it an annual JewelTree holiday. So every June 13th, we will be throwing a celebration, a good time. It's just amazing how everything lined up. And that really does come across online. You really can feel the level of care. You can feel the power of prayer and devotion and practice that's been here for 80 something years. But you can also feel what we did as a community in the tradition of Swami Premodaya, who began his teaching work in 2004 in a response to a calling to make himself available to people spiritually. Well, he has certainly done that. The thing that absolutely is consistent is Swami Premodaya has absolutely been the most available guru, spiritual teacher that I've known, and his teachings we've worked really hard to also make available. And now we have a permanent home where we have all kinds of wonderful programs and events, and we always make sure that can also be broadcast online through, we have this awesome, again, more and more people. Casey Green, who's a longtime friend of mine, who's just brilliant when it comes to camera broadcast technology. He's just so good at it. And he just helped us re-up our system, which is entirely, we can take all 4 cameras and we can merge different images together at the same time. So you're actually seeing 2 images at the same time, all through Zoom. So Zoom, is still as easy as using Zoom on any device. You log right in and you're right in the room. And it's really true that the richness of this is transmitted online. But that's what's true for spiritual life, is it's not based on a location. It's not based on time. But like you said, it is also helpful to have the roots in the ground, and it kind of amplifies it gives the transmission or the power, the spiritual power, the power of prayer. It's like one of the most powerful experiences that I've ever experienced, and you were there, is going to the Wailing Wall and just prayer after prayer after prayer, and year after year after. It's just the power of that site is a sacred site that has truly radical spiritual power. So I'm not comparing us to the Wailing Wall by any means, but I am saying it does have a profound effect to be in a home for this practice.
Yeah, and with everything you said now about the people who founded, the people who restored it, the years of spiritual practice of prayer in it, it's all about passion. It's a passion project for many, for almost 100 years. And that is also, the name is also perfect for passion. Let's get the project out of it. It's just the passion. And that is also what is happening more and more within our community, the growing passion. And I don't think we already said what the story of the jewel tree is.
Yeah. So why JewelTree? Why I could pick anything. Why would you go from International Centers of Divine Awakening to Ikota? By the way, a little side note: the church that before the husband and wife team that restored the property, the owners before that was International. Is that right? Hold on. No, I'm adding that. And let me say it right. Was the Church of Divine Awakening. So we were like, wait a minute. We went from, it was, oh no, hold on. I'm mixing all the words up. Church of Divine Guidance. It was the Church of Divine Guidance. So, and we were International Centers of Divine Awakening. So it's already it was just, again, it all just aligned up. There are signs in life. And when the signs point, it's wise to go. And when we saw this place, we immediately knew. It just was like, yep. And so why for us, international centers of divine awakening, why then to JewelTree? Why JewelTree? There's so many. You could pick any name. Why JewelTree Center for Growth and Spiritual Growth and Guidance? JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. Follow us. JewelTreeCenter.org. Well, another fun story. So while we're sitting here and we're standing up, Guruji's been here for a matter of moments, and we had beautiful interactions with the neighborhood and everybody here. It's a very friendly neighborhood. There's some very spiritual folks in the neighborhood, and we had some lovely connections immediately. And just like that, Guruji's like, well, what do you think about spiritual growth and guidance, Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance? Because what specifically do we do? What do we offer? It's Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance is so precisely and specifically exactly what we do in practice. Mm-hmm. But why JewelTree? When did JewelTree come in? So JewelTree didn't come in that first moment. The first moment, he just was like, I'm thinking, he says, if we do this, we're going to have to change our name because I really want it to better represent. I want it to be the last name change. This is it. This will be the name change this is us for the rest of my life. And I went home and started mocking up some logos to consider. And I had pulled a JewelTree off of the internet because I've always loved this story. Mm-hmm. So one of Guruji's first ever spiritual moments, which he didn't know or consider a spiritual moment because, when he was so young, and then he was an atheist when he grew up, his teenage 20 years of he's an atheist until his beloved Guru came crashing into his life. But he tells a really incredible story. And please add to this if I lose anything. But he was very young. He would have been under 5 because he was at the concentration camp. For those of you who might not know, Swami Premodaya was born in a post-Holocaust concentration camp. So he lived in a mud hut and on a concentration camp. I believe it was four-walled. And the story I remember him saying is he had to get his tonsils out. And I think they called it a dispensary in the prison or the refugee camp. Is basically a military doctor. And he said he remembered that he would lay kids on his lap and then he would operate. And he had to go get an operation. And he said he remembers it being, I think it was the second floor. He just remembers he had to go up a flight of stairs, long stairway, especially just, somebody so young, it's going to feel like a really long stairway on the exterior of the building. And when he was going up, he remembers turning around and looked out at a willow tree, but instead of leaves, there was a willow tree, had gigantic, dazzling jewels just kind of floating with an iridescent rainbow jewels on this tree. More than leaves, there were jewels. And it was too young and to take in that was a spiritual experience. But later, and certainly as a guru, he explained that that's the nature of being. That's, everything living. It's much more like you're bejeweled with, glowing iridescent jewels than you are this human, this tree, this dog. But he was specifically describing this willow tree, this jeweled tree. And one of the gifts that somebody had given him over the years is this gold wire trunk tree with jewels all over it. And I always kept it. And he asked me one day years ago now, hey, whatever happened to that tree? I was like, oh, I still have it. And he's like, oh. And so I gave that back to him. So I used the image of this tree that I have a picture of that was given to him. And I had put some logo around it, but I had never used the word JewelTree. I just, Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, because that's what he said to us just out front of the building. And then he came back, I don't know, 72 hours later and said, "Hey, what do you think about JewelTree or JewelTree Center?" And I laughed because I basically had made a logo with a jeweled tree, the one from his story in my mind. And here he is saying the actual words. The words never occurred to me, but the image did. So we put those two things together, and JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. So it just was so, again, it was just so aligned and so right. And it's just so rich, and it's definitely the Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, but JewelTree gives the sweetness that is our path. And that, so all of that is happening while we're, now figuring out, I guess we should, how to go through the process of getting this place. And then that's its own thing, getting all that to happen and all the work that goes into that. And then all the work that goes into, opening, now that you have a 7,000 square foot building with these gorgeous offices and space and a sanctuary and everything that's involved with that. But we are open. JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, Los Angeles. And we still have a center in Brussels. So
Yes.
You're the director of JewelTree Center Brussels. And here we are with our international center and our home base here in Los Angeles with this temple. And I'm so, I one of the reasons why we do this podcast, and now we were part of the reason why we're so committed to keep it going, is because I literally just love you so much. I love you. I miss you. I still wear the bracelet you gave me all the time, especially when I'm thinking about you and missing you. And we love to talk. We like to get together and just share stories and also just relate in and on the spiritual path. We have the same beloved gurus, or my guru brother, and you're running a JewelTree Center, and I'm running a JewelTree Center. So we got lots to talk about. So we want to continue doing this podcast regularly and continually, and we'll probably even get better at it as we go along.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it is. What else is there to talk about? What else?
We could talk about the news. The news that doesn't change is kind of the same. Guruji said over the years that it's the same headlines from whenever you take it. So now JewelTree, and here we are. We're working. We don't have a final logo right now. We have a temporary logo, the JT, but we are working on an actual JewelTree. And one of the thrills about right now for us is that you really get to see how hard Guruji has worked for us. And it's really enjoyable to see his work available to others, what he's done, what he's given, what he's sacrificed. And, again and again and again, he's just made himself available. And we love making that available to, like you can see behind us, we have, our handouts, and we have the various programs and offerings that are now run, this is probably a good time to bring up the fact that there's been radical transformation in the Sangha. So not only do we get to see a place that's the permanent home for Swami Premodaya's teaching work, but that doesn't matter nearly as much, or isn't as profound, or we could say it very positively. What's more profound than that, what's way more radically exciting, what's big part of the huge news, is the incredible transformations that have happened for both individuals and the Sangha. I mean, Guruji has always said, I actually don't speak to groups. I speak to individuals in groups. That's the power of the guru functions. That's just what happens. It's even though there's Guruji might be speaking to a crowd of people, there's still only the individual is listening. So the transformations that have happened, we have, my goodness, that's also part of the huge news. It started out with, it's kind of like, so some people, like, when we talk about transformation is very real. It's not some idea. It's not like a martial arts system where you must be able to demonstrate these different skills, and therefore no, we're saying, like, when somebody here's an easy way to kind of talk about it. When somebody has a huge issue with anger or rage, and then they become a peaceful person. That's very identifiable. When something has transformed, you can easily see it. It's available. It's not something that it's not like a college that it's like, okay, we're giving you this certificate because you've met this set of criteria or you've memorized this set of study. No, it's because it's identifiable and something has radically changed.
Yeah. And the name Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance, like the spiritual growth is actual. It's the spiritual teachings coming to fruition, like you said, in the Sangha, and also for people individually. Going back to, for instance, the mystery school curriculum readings, when I read them back, it's so amazing to see how everything was. We've said this before, everything has always been available already, but then to see how it was already there, and now we as individuals and as a Sangha are starting to live actually what the Guru has been teaching all along, way back 10 years back, 15 years back. And now, and the Guru also has said, like, it takes about 20 years.
Yeah, so we're right on time.
We're right on time
We're right
for
on time.
it all coming to fruition, to grow, to actually be lived. That's
Well,
also,
sorry, excuse me.
yeah. The living discipleship more, living more as disciples, and also one of the big transformations, one of the first big transformations that happened was the advent of Wings of Guru, Swami Sky, you,
Yeah.
Eden. So that was a big catalyst for, well, everything was a catalyst for everything, but that was very identifiable, like, ooh, a first, yeah.
Well, there's no like timeline because that makes it too material, but we try to identify a couple of things that happened. And one of the things is we actually did graduate. We completed the mystery school curriculum.
Yeah. As
We had no idea it was going to go on for however long it was going to go on. But as a Sangha, it was so clear that people had advanced to such a degree that something else was needed. And so we actually had diplomas given out for the graduation of the mystery school curriculum. And those, I mean, they're gorgeous. And it was a nice little ceremony presented at the last retreat. But that was a big thing. We didn't hand out the diplomas until recently, but there was a big turning point when it was clear that what was next was beyond the mystery school curriculum. And that's when Advanced Beyond Self-Training came about. And then right around that same time or shortly after, there was Guruji recognized that there had become advanced disciples. So there are formally initiated disciples of Swami Premodaya, and there's the advancement of that. It became like a category. Not that we categorize things, but it just was like this is happening. Let's identify. Let's say what we're identifying. So it's advanced disciple, and the first two were Aiden and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then very quickly after, and now we have several advanced disciples, which is beautiful. It's kind of how it happens amongst humans. Is usually there's always that somebody that breaks the glass ceiling or lifts beyond. And this is in everything. This happens in sports and business and whatever. But it also happens amongst a community of spiritual seekers. It's like there's just a growth happens and a new. You could say, for just the sake of talking about a new level was reached, that kind of thing. But there's been such radical transformation that Advanced Beyond Self-Training came, which people it's just so radically different than anything we've ever done at JewelTree. And Swami Premodaya, the Guru function is a response function. It was responding to people changing so much. And then Advanced Disciple, it became clear, Guruji talked about, that myself, Swami Sky, and Aiden Sletta had become wings of guru, as we like to say, or he said, think of it as wings of guru, or think of it as a three-legged table, or that the guru has become now three. That Aiden Sletta, who's the legacy holder at JewelTree, legacy holder to Swami Premodaya, and myself as lineage holder, and that guru had become three. These are wings of guru, truly assisting the guru function and are part of that. And then, we were all kind of like, oh, but it was so obvious that was a very real thing happening, that just became so real, so tangible, so clear. And that was a radical shift. So that's before we got the temple. It's just amazing how all this lined up. So that happened, and the work had expanded and become profound in a whole new way. And then all of a sudden we had gotten the temple, and that had expanded. And there's all kinds of new offerings, and some of them come specifically from Aiden. Some of them come specifically from me. Everything we do, we definitely do together. We really function together as wings of guru. But there's offerings and aspects that are very specifically, they're coming from Aiden. They're yes, you can trace it all back to your guru. Everything that you can always trace it back to your guru, because without the practices, or without the wisdom ways, without the transmissions, good luck. But at the same time, it's also important to say, hey, this is coming from Swami's guy. Hey, this is coming from Aiden. Or hey, this is coming from Sangha. And then this radical transformation, everybody just changing, transforming, changing. And it's so enjoyable to see, especially at the celebration, just such happy people. That's the one thing that new folks or people we haven't seen in a while is like, it's so welcoming, so warm, and it just such a profound, sincere group of spiritual, can't say seekers anymore because people are really finders. So, but such spiritually devoted and folks, and it's just been, the Sangha has been radically changing and advanced. We have certified the other thing with that. So then we started the practitioner training program. I almost forgot about that, which is something that Guruji has wanted since 2005, because we had a practitioner training program in 2005. It had one student, that was me. So we've always wanted to have practitioners that they offer what they offer, and then they contribute to service and support in a unique way that's unique to them. And immediately we started that program, and people advanced so rapidly that we now have 3 certified JewelTree practitioners, yourself being one of them. So you are also an identified advanced disciple. You are have completed the qualifications to be a certified JewelTree practitioner. There's other people still in the program that we look forward to that. And then I'm trying to quickly get there. There's so many things in between. There's just more and more and more and more in between.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to get there that even that was blown out of the water by a recent comment. I don't want to say comment. I want to what Guruji identified for you recently, and identified isn't the right word. What's the word I'm looking for?
Recognized?
Recognized. That's the word. My brain just went fog.
Yeah.
What because that's what it is. It's a recognition. It's not an appointment. It's not something, again, it's not something that it's literally I recognize this happened. Just like with Wings of Guru. Guruji didn't sit down and go, these are now, I don these now wings of Guru. It's literally something he recognized happened, and his eyes are quite sharp, and he has the ability to really see and really hear, and he recognized this happened. And as soon as he recognized it, the amazing part was everybody else recognized it too, because as soon as you say it, it's like, oh, wow, that is obvious. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that you had reached the first rung of cosmic consciousness. So all of this was to get to that. and by the way, since then, he said, you've reached several more rungs of cosmic consciousness. So cosmic consciousness is something that people talk about, and people talk about enlightenment. People, it's one of those things, but it's not ethereal. It's not something. It's something very, very real and very practical. And I am sure people listening to this would love to know, well, what do you mean by cosmic consciousness? And what does this mean? You've reached cosmic consciousness. So please share that with us.
It's very good you use the word practical, because our guru, our beloved master, being the practical guru, absolutely, there's nothing highfalutin about it. It's very clear and very clarifying. What does it mean? A very simple way of putting it. It is seeing, or it's not. Yes, it is seeing, and it is being beyond your identification with I. And identification with I is, it contains a lot. It contains identification with the world, it contains identification with the body, but it is seeing. We have beyond self training, we have beyond self training. It is going beyond self, it is going beyond mind. Does that mean that I am in a certain state, in a different state, in a different place? No, it means I am not so identified. I am not in the prison of mind, in the prison of thoughts. I know I am not I. And talking about it, it's impossible to then. No, it's not. It is just very difficult to convey what it is, but everything I say is pointing towards what it is and how I experience it. It is literally not being stuck in in emotions, in thoughts, in I have it's like a camera. Before you're actually zoomed in constantly, and the only thing that happens is like, zoom out, and you are in a zoomed out position where you're not one on one with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your ideas. It's very, the results of it, what happens, it is very relaxing, it's very easy. Let go is very easy. The ways, how the practical ways of the guru, following our guru's practical ways, is what made this happen. What did we focus on? Aliveness. We focused on just existing is the greatest pleasure possible. It's actually implementing the wisdom ways, practices, and transmissions of the guru. Practice, 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 and love for the guru. Yeah.
Yeah, and we lovingly refer to Swami Premodaya as the practical guru, for the simple reason that his teaching ways are effective.
Yeah.
So we say practical. One of the reasons for that is because it's effective. And that's one of the things about Swami Premodaya, is he's for what works, and he's for what works for you. And it's not about what works for somebody else. It's really about what takes you forward, what grows you, spiritual growth and guidance. And his guidance is very effective. And that's why we refer to him as the practical guru. And part of the reason why we have this podcast is we just want to share it so much. We share it with, just to get together and bask in it. There's plenty out there to talk about the day's events and whatever else is going on, and basically, complain about this or competition about that. And we just, to get together and actually talk bhakti, meaning devotion, love, the love path. So it's basically the love talk of the spiritual path. So we're just, sometimes we sit down and we'll create a rundown and create an outline of what the podcast will be. And, oftentimes we just sit down and start talking and just enjoy speaking about. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful to hear you talk about cosmic consciousness. It's wonderful to share in devotion of our guru, Swami Premodaya, but also for all spiritual paths. That's one of the things we really do honor
Mm.
all spiritual paths, but it's practical in the sense of what works for you. What works for you on your path, rather than follow a bunch of ideas that haven't gotten you anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And beyond is a word our beloved guru has used a lot. And
Mhm.
beyond has always been a very attractive word for me.
Mhm.
And actually, the best way to describe uh, cosmic consciousness is beyond self.
Mhm. And that's the first tagline he ever used
Yeah.
back in 2004.
Yeah.
So he really has been giving it to us from the very beginning. It's beyond self. That's why it's the Beyond Self training program, which is an incredible program we offer once a year.
Mhm.
It's 3 sections of 13 weeks each, so 39 weeks total, but
Yeah.
one, and each week is, build upon the next, and we offer that once a year. It is a profound and radical and completely life-changing course, and we love it. I mean, to be able to offer it once a year, it's the right amount. If we offered it more than once a year, it'd probably be we just, because it's so limited, we limit the class structure is limited to, I think, 15 students total, and you get lots of individual time, and that's where it started. Now we have an advanced Beyond Self training program, and we have a whole radical roster of what we were able to do. We have the perfect place and sanctuary for guided meditations, satsang fellowship, satsang with Swami Premodaya, darshana with Swami Premodaya, all day workshops. It's so amazing to now have all this. And
Yeah.
sometimes we get so involved in the programs and courses that in transformational work, like, to me, like this Bhakti Talk podcast is like a respite to just chill out and enjoy. It's like the barbecue of spiritual work. I get
Yeah.
to hang out with you, and even
Yeah.
though you're a vegetarian, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll grill the vegetables.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Spiritual barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, usually it makes me think. Usually, when you're doing the spiritual, you're the one being barbecued.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. And also recently, it is all super practical. And Guruji recently said, I always referred to myself, or others referred to me as the practical guru. Absolutely, yes. And he added, like, but my actual claim to fame is simple.
Yeah.
I am there will be people who are as good, but nobody is better at making it simple. And that is so true, and it's so incredible, like very, very esoteric and complex. Like, the Buddhists have volumes and volumes written about it, and our guru gives just a one liner, which is like, boom, on the mark. Yeah.
Everything that's ever happened has happened only to you.
For instance. Yeah.
Life is other people. These
Yeah.
It's literally, people spend, multi generations of dissecting and
Hmm.
boiling down and contemplation. And the Meditation for Modern Time series, our guided meditations from Swami Premodaya, are meditations of contemplation and understanding. But like you say, even those, they're just so simple.
Yeah.
And part of the practicality is, a part of the effectiveness is how simple it is, that you can really get it.
Yeah.
And simple is tricky because the mind likes complicated. But that's part of why it's so effective, is because it's so simple that it just beyond self throws you into beyond self right away, because the mind likes complicated, the mind really, especially nowadays, likes analysis.
Yeah.
But it's so simple that there's nothing to analyze.
Yeah. There's nothing to pick apart, and it's beyond mind, beyond self. It's like you said, the mind cannot do anything with it. It's and it frustrates the mind, and a frustrated mind is very good.
That's good. It means now you can change.
Yeah.
So we better make clear what our huge news is, because we did claim a lot of huge news. So our huge news, to recap, is we have a brand new name, JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. We have a brand new, we often say temple because this has been a temple. It's a center. It's our spiritual center. And this center is in near downtown. It's mid-city Los Angeles, near downtown. And it is absolutely stunning. It is filled with prayer and devotion. And we have also taken that tradition of over 80 years of prayer and worship and devotion. We have also brought that right to the same building, and it's been decorated. We love seeing Guruji's quotes on the walls and pictures, and it's just an absolute sanctuary. We call it the satsang sanctuary, the sanctuary part, and it's just an absolute radiant powerhouse of spiritual practice. So that's radical. Our Sangha has transformed. We have advanced disciples. We have certified JewelTree practitioners. We have brand new programs to serve any spiritual path at any point on the spiritual path. There's been consistently over these 22 years, there's been such sincere, rich spiritual seekers who have come, and that tradition has continued. There's just the people who walk through the door, they just bring so much, and we're so grateful for it. We have our absolutely gorgeous temple dog, who is right there. He's even got his own Instagram at Rex the Temple Dog. He is Swami's guy, me. He's my companion, and he's with me all the time. He's what they call a Velcro dog. He never leaves my side. He's just he's the best. He's just a phenomenal dog. And I'm telling you, when he does his headbutt blessing to your heart, you can it feels like Reiki. You just feel like just this radiance. He's just an absolute lover, unless you're a small dog, in which case he's quite aggressive. He loves people, small dogs. I don't know what his experience was with small dogs, but he does not like them. So the other phenomenal new news is that we're open. So come on by. We have transformational events every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, and we have programs and classes on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then also, maybe finally, we're back. So that's all. That is big giant news.
We are back, and this is the Bhakti Talk Podcast, and everything you just said now, of course, it's love.
Yeah,
it's love. Yeah,
well,
love and everything. It's all love. Yeah,
it is, and it's basically we're given a home to love in, which completely the way that this all just aligned, we take it as a sign from the beyond, from God, from whatever, the universal, the way that it all, we take it as a sign that we're doing well, and the Sangha has grown in love, and and then Guruji, his name is
Swami
Premodaya.
Fruition.
Premodaya means the rise of love in Sanskrit. So no wonder why we have the Bhakti Talk podcast, where we make an hour of time where we can just talk about love and love. Being on the path of love. Guru Bhakti Yoga. It's the path of the divine, but it's the path of devotion. And where else do you get to do that other than places that make room for that? There's plenty of places that love and devotion, but we're certainly one of them. And here we are. What an absolute blessing. It feels like a privilege. I really feel I live a very, very blessed, it feels like luck. What a lucky life we get to have, and we get to share it together. And you're my guru brother, and we just to make an hour of time where we can get together and enjoy that. Absolutely. Is definitely something we will continue doing at least once a month, we don't want to commit to more than that in case our incredible responsibilities to take over like anybody's life.
Wonderful. So this was it. The Bhakti Talk podcast is presented by JewelTree Center for Spiritual Growth and Guidance. Find us on JewelTree Center's website, where you can also check out the calendar of upcoming spiritual events, transformational programs, as well as access a free spiritual wisdom library of over 650 full-length recordings from Swami Premodaya's wisdom work. Visit JewelTreeCenter.org. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, we're back. And since the beginning, I want to say we're back, baby. We'd like to...
Bhakti.
We're back, Bhakti, baby. We'd like to express gratitude to our listeners and to our beloved Sangha for your support. And we offer a most ecstatic thank you to our beloved Guru, Swami Premodaya. Your wisdom ways, practices continue to be the light of transformation on the spiritual path. Jai Jai, Swami Premodaya.